She's clapping and waving her hands.
Hello!
Guys! We're off to Disney. Who's excited?
Well, we're not off to Disney right now.
Oh, well, we're down
off
the driveway.
to Chattanooga.
But this is the first
Right?
step. In the
I got that right?
Yes, we're going to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And I'm guaranteeing that there's Cracker Barrel in the future.
And we're gonna be telling you all about it for 8 days.
Are we really going for 8 days? I'm so excited to leave this.
We're driving this car for a lot of days.
We're gonna be driving in this car for years. I will never get out.
Focus, focus, focus.
She makes it sound so good.
Yay!
Yay!
I'm
Brittany and I
super
seem the
pumped.
only one
I've been in a
excited. I've been
great
pumped.
mood
I've been very excited.
all day. And people have been so annoyed with my optimism and energy.
I've
but
been so excited.
I have sparkles shooting out of my butt.
Look, and everyone's here, and
Better
squad is turning up.
Turning up in the club
Alright.
with the
I gotta check one
Mickey.
thing.
What are you doing?
Let's check one thing.
Why are we
Okay.
stopping?
Because I said so.
We're 2 minutes into
Taking
the
a
trip.
break.
Taking a break! Get out! Take a break!
We're literally in for 2 minutes. We are
Just got
stopping.
down our driveway. Now go drive.
Cute. So it is 2:40. Technically, it's Saturday, March 19th, but my Friday still hasn't ended. We've been driving now for about 12 hours, and I'm in a hotel, and I honestly do not know where I am. I just have been so disoriented. I just kind of rolled out, grabbed all my chargers and laptop and stuff, and I'll be sleeping for, I think we're gonna leave at 7 again, so I'll sleep for a solid, I guess, 4 hours. Leave, get up, get dressed. Did I pack a toothbrush? Yeah. Change clothes, get back in the car, and charge my tech stuff because that's really what I need. Fix my hair. Good night. This mission is gonna end. Good night, everyone. Are you serious? So we're in 2 separate buildings. Okay, let's go back to this opening statement. As I just reviewed, we've been driving for 12 hours. It is 2:45 a.m. in the morning. It is still Friday for me. And we are sleeping over there, and the parentals are sleeping all over there. And there's Brian. No sleep tonight, party! I'm falling right asleep. This is thrilling. Good luck. First the t-shirt.
Should I demonstrate what people do in these haircuts?
The shower cap. This is by your chef.
Me like fries.
I'm gonna give you a little room tour of our fantastic room. Okay, so
I'm gonna get naked.
our room when we walked in,
Stop.
it kind of smells like drawers.
Yeah, there's some other drugs.
Okay, so I'm scared to open this. This is this. Keep your clothes on. Here's our one bed and Jonathan's couch. It's a little cramped. Those are Brittany.
I came off the road.
Here's some ugly curtains and some weird desk, and then popcorn with no water, TV, where all my crap lives. Brittany's heavy I had to carry. Johnny naked? No. And here's a really
What type of coffee
Really?
would you want here? No.
in the bathroom. I wouldn't.
Just goals. Doesn't even fucking work. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't. Jonathan, stop blow drying your hair. It's literally 3 a.m. Where's the coffee? I really like this bathroom though. Like this mirror thing, I'm feeling it. This is the best part of the room.
No, I don't think so.
Officially saying goodnight from whatever this has been. Good morning. Today's outfit's a little flower crown, some big sunglasses to hide how tired I am, some overalls, and this this thing, the mixer thing, look fancier. Let's go check in everyone else.
Hi! I showered. Their shower products are making my hair.
We have to go to the card and sit in there for like 2 more hours.
Yeah, the 2.5 hours in the car, and then we get to next destination.
Woohoo!
So we're in the car. There's Brittany.
Hi!
We are starting on day 2. We have left the hotel. And we have stopped at a gas station for gas. And all Brian has talked about, on the entire way down here is Zaxby's chicken. Zaxby's chicken. Zaxby's chicken. It's so many miles to the next Zaxby's chicken. Does everyone know that what we're going to get at Zaxby's chicken? We're going to have lunch at Aunt Dot's house, but no, we should stop and get some Zaxby's chicken. So there's a little obsession about this Zaxby's chicken. So in front of us, we have 2 milkshakes. And how are the milkshakes?
They're so yummy. Like, we need one of these where we live.
They
came with chocolate whipped cream.
They came with chocolate whipped cream. Chocolate whipped cream. Do you see this? Do you see the happy face? See? Chocolate whipped cream. Chocolate whipped cream makes everything better. And now there's this lovely chicken. Let's take a look at the chicken. Can you see the chicken? And it comes with Zach's sauce and chicken. It does look crispy. It was hot. We have 20 chicken tenders. Are you ready to try one, Tere'ssa?
I'm gonna try it on camera.
Oh, yeah.
At that camera, I'm a vegetarian, so I will not.
Brittany's a vegetarian, so she can't have any. Okay. Here we go.
I'm nervous. It's a pretty yummy chicken.
We have pretty yummy chicken. Pretty yummy chicken so far. 2 bites in, still pretty yummy? Pretty yummy chicken.
Flavorful.
From this angle, it looks like I have 6 chins, so obviously I don't need 8 chicken. We'll go like this. That doesn't look any better. There's Jonathan.
Crispy.
He likes the milkshake too. You like the Zaxby sauce? Alright, so I think we have a thumbs up on the Zaxby, so Brian was right. It's always great when the dad is right.
Is it better than Chick-fil-A though?
Is it better than Chick-fil-A? Uh-oh. She's saying it's not better than Chick-fil-A, but it's pretty good. So we have to admit that he's right. And it's always good when we let him think he's right. Lord, I pray for the people in that accident, whatever they're responding to. Alright, we're going to go now. Because if I don't turn off the camera, then I will get no milkshake. And since I have not tried the deliciousness of the chicken, there's going to be no milkshake left. Alright, bye!
So we have arrived in Georgia. The place we're staying they have carpet in the bathroom. And I'm gonna show you some little knickknacks around the house now. I'll give you a little room tour on where we're staying, and we'll start from the back and go up. Just instant talk, yeah. Here's our bathroom. It's very Alexander Hamilton museum, just throwing it out there. Just get a good look at that. Faith to be honest. Take a little picture.
He does have the red in his beard, but up here is much darker. He's never had red hair that I know of in his head, but his beard does.
Who's that?
His name is Sandy, but of course that was just
Hope we keep passing on the
Thomas
file.
Sandy, and he goes by T.S.
And we had finished up the war to end all wars. And so just a few years later, there was a discussion that went on over in Korea, but you couldn't call it a war.
Yeah.
It had to be a police action. But it was a police action where they still drafted all the young people. And so those of us graduating from high school were all facing the draft. At least those of us that were not already in one of the reserves.
Yeah.
I happen to be in one of the reserves, the Coast Guard Reserve.
I want to do that.
And I wanted to be a pilot.
I want to learn.
Yeah.
That didn't work for the Coast Guard Reserve.
Why not?
Well, at that time, the Coast Guard did not have any really big flight element. Helicopters were not that popular or that safe out over water at the time and such, so that wasn't there. So I tried to get released from the Coast Guard Reserve to join the Air Force, and they wouldn't let me out. And so I turned around and said, well, how about if I go full time? And they would let me go full time as Coast Guard, so that's how I ended up in the Coast Guard, really. I had looked at Coast Guard Reserve as just being harbor patrol there in Baltimore, because that's what the reserve unit was related to. But went off to Cape May, New Jersey in the service, and most of them in my graduating class ended up in the military. Now, when I graduated, the classes were relatively small compared to today, but compared to the schools down here in Georgia, they were gigantic. We had a little over 200 in the graduating class on it. So, the number of us that went into service got us scattered all across the country, and pretty typical of those that in the military, they tended to settle in some place where they had been stationed in this country. And so I came out and had decided that when I was in the service, I began to feel uncomfortable with the ones that I was among. When you come through school like you all do, maybe not as much for your generation as for mine, but the students who couldn't cut it pretty much dropped out of school by the 7th grade or so. And so by the time you got to high school, you were not relating at all. And that renewed my interest in going to college. I didn't like human beings much at all, and I didn't like the damages that were done to animals and such, and so I decided I want to be a veterinarian. And the best place to become a veterinarian, so I was told, was either the University of Pennsylvania or the University of Georgia. And Maryland didn't have a vet school.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
But they did have a criteria that every year 2 people from Maryland schools, when they graduated, could go into the vet school down here, because vet school is a graduate school. And I looked at that and thought the odds were not very good.
Yeah.
So I checked, and they took 25 to 50 out of the graduating class in Georgia.
And you were going to Georgia?
I came down to Georgia to be a veterinarian. Got down here, and before I came down, the pastor up in Norfolk told me when I got to Georgia to find the Baptist Student Union. I needed them. They darn sure didn't need me, but I needed them. And so when I got to Athens, I threw my clothes in the dormitory room that they'd assigned me, and I went looking for the BSU Center. Found it. Found a nice little prayer partner there and married her at the end of the sophomore year. And during my freshman year, I became convinced that I wasn't going to be a good veterinarian because these people down here didn't understand about being a veterinarian. I understood that being a veterinarian meant you took care of dogs and cats.
Yeah.
And when I got down here, they thought I was supposed to take care of hogs and cows and horses.
You were not
stuff
up for
like
that.
That was not what I had in mind for veterinary medicine either. And the more I was involved in Baptist Student Union, the more I came to accept human beings better. And felt called to the ministry. Eventually became a campus minister myself to work with college students, and that's where I spent all my life, was working with college students. I'm a night owl, and that works pretty good for working with college students too. So I've had the experiences of walking with students through many situations. And so once I knew I was going to be a campus minister, it made sense to start taking courses to help people. And psychology was one of the places that you identify with that. And so I took everything they had in the psychology department at the University of Georgia. I didn't really understand research when I was coming out of high school. I didn't get the chance to do the kind of things that you all are doing in high school.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing that when you're talking about history, you all probably don't think so much about being segments of society. You think of that more in India and so on. But my father's people were
Who did?
the lower end of society.
Oh, yeah.
On it, you can't get a job much lower on the railroad than getting up every morning and walking through the yards there, putting your hand at the brakes of the wheels of the trains that came in last night to decide whether or not they need new brakes put on. That's what Granddaddy did all his life. There was it. And so when I started in high school, Dad told me to not get any ideas about going to college because our kind of people didn't get to go to college. And that was just the psychology that was behind it, and I suspect had some effect on your grandfather too.
Yeah.
I did happen to get a scholarship when I came out of high school to Drexel Tech in Philadelphia. But when I went up there, I didn't miss a dog show anywhere in the area, and I didn't miss a movie that was showing. So by the time it came time for Thanksgiving, it was pretty obvious to me that I wasn't going to pass anything. And so I quit. And went back to work on things that I knew how to do, because I went to work at 14 in a little plastic shop and working with my hands ever since until I went off to college. And I certainly am not belittling the working man, not a bit. But there is a certain stratification that goes on in industry, and the person that works the assembly line or even the tool and die makers are just not up there with the ones that have had their college education and are the managers and this kind of thing. And our society still is stratified that way. I don't think it's as much so geographically as it was then. I went to high school at Towson, and the people over in Towson, well, they looked down on all of us that came from Parkville. And it was kind of considered the other side of the tracks from the Towson people. And the ones that have been raised over in Towson pretty much let the rest of us know that we were not. I've seen it reflected even in our alumni later on. One of the men that was in well, he's a boy, of course, when he graduated, but in the high school class became a doctor and eventually a teaching doctor. And he taught down here at the med school in Georgia. And when he left, he made some very derogatory comments about Georgians and the quality of the doctors down here and this kind of thing. And it was really uncalled for. He really wasn't that sharp himself anyway. But
I mean, that must not have been exciting to all of a sudden have a baby in the household.
not a bit.
Nuh-uh.
I didn't like him a bit. And the first time I really came to realize I cared about it, yeah, wiggly thing, you know, cried and all that kind of thing. But he was playing on the floor. He was still in the crawling stage. And I had brought the Spitz inside. I don't know where Mama was because I know she had to be gone because dogs weren't allowed in the house. So she had to be gone. And he crawled up on me and bit me. Just like a baby does,
Yeah.
you know, on it. And that Spitz came from across the room to tear him apart. And I still get emotional about it. But I came down across the back of that Spitz with my fist. It's a wonder I didn't break his back. And I picked him up and took him to the kitchen and threw him through the wiring on the porch. I mean, split the wire with that dog, throwing him out of there.
It was a stage
And
of
then I
life.
suddenly realized I really cared about it. But I mean, seriously, that was a major change for me at that point. I dearly loved him from that on. But I wasn't around him much, and I was gone in the service before he started elementary school, and never returned home again. I was back for 3 months between the time I came out of the service and when I went to the university, and then Dot and I were back up there for 3 months the first year married. That's the only time. So I really, unfortunately, don't really know my brother. Like though in the working class,
Yes.
up on his legs, on his feet, that kind of thing. I didn't.
I don't think he ever had a job where he sat down.
Well, and see, that's just the opposite from me. Even when I left campus ministry, I was a dean of a college, and yeah, well, when I came back to campus ministry, I was frustrated because I only had a student as a secretary, and I've been used to having 2 full-time secretaries for anything that I was doing. No, he didn't have the chances that I did. I got the GI Bill after Korea, and understand I didn't go to Korea. I was in the Coast Guard on the East Coast. It was just the Korean time.
And they still passed you for the bill.
Oh,
Everyone
all
got
of
it.
us, all of us that didn't get killed or maimed, the country felt guilty, and so they gave us the GI Bill, and that's what I used to go to college on. I couldn't have gone to college without that. But at that time, they paid all your tuition, your fees, gave you $75 a month to live off of. And that was pretty good money back then.
Yeah.
So I stretched out the money because when I came down to Georgia, they let all the veterans take tests for where they placed in different subject matter. and I was particularly fortunate in high school. It meant that I could stretch the GI Bill out on over to part of my master's.
Some other things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got your master's in what?
Psychology and education.
So no religious studies.
Well,
Did they not offer that back then?
I got 3 years
At the
of
seminary?
seminary too.
Okay.
No, I've got a bachelor's degree in psychology and philosophy, a master's degree in psychology and education, and a graduate specialist degree in educational administration and psychology. So when I was in a barber shop one day, the two barbers were going back and forth with some of the other men in there on the racial issue, and very, very derogatory. And sitting right over there was the shoeshine boy. Now you understand that the shoeshine boy was probably in his 40s or 50s as far as age. And finally one of them said, well, do you feel that way about him? He said, he ain't he used a derogatory term for racial there. He's Sam. You know, that was true in so much of the South, where they got to know each other.
It just wasn't a deal.
It wasn't color of skin. It was Sam or it was Paul. He pulled me aside on it and he said, Dick, I'll never get over my racial feelings, but I don't want you to have them.
That's huge.
And that's how Dad forced me, so to speak. You know, that yes, Daddy still had the negative racial issues, but no, I was not to have. You know, so it's those kind of things make a major difference in how children are raised. When a parent can admit that I can't get over this particular thing, but I don't want you to ever be trapped by it. That's a big step forward. Now, it's a bigger step forward when the parent can get over it and model it themselves. That's even better. But to recognize that one of their behaviors is not conducive to good success in the future is extremely important.
I've arrived at my aunt's house, which is gorgeous, on a lake in Georgia, and we're here to have a little cookout tonight, and I just wanted to have you look at it. It's gorgeous.
How are you, sweetie? Good to see you.
See you.
Your hair is wet.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
That's what she... What? That's what she wanted. I really want to get in that lake, and that's probably gross.
What?
I really want to get in that lake, and that's probably gross. Oh, it's so beautiful out here. Yeah.
Hard cheese, soft cheese. If you don't want to do crackers, those are rice crackers. So you might have, I think Ann is gluten-free. So I think those are good for Ann as well as that. So anyway, make your stuff at home on the snacks and we'll get you something to drink too.
Oh my god.
And Dad?
I love
It looks like you brought